So, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to find out very, very quickly whether slick tyres or wet tyres are the way forward. Once you're out on track, you have no time to come in and change tyres. This is the odd numbered, so 36 drivers, odd numbered drivers out on circuit. I think that the wet tyres, oh, we've got a spinner already just understeering off, and that would be one driver, I'm sure, on slick tyres, trying to read through the mist there. Number 1-5, that possibly could have been Nikhilesh Raju, the Indian driver. Let's have a look once again, under braking, and you can see driver gets on the brakes, and it is the number 155 kart of Nikhilesh Raju, and just rather than plough into the driver in front of him, he just has to turn right, the back end steps out. Luckily he doesn't make contact, but he's now realizing just how slippery this circuit can get. Through turn number 1, flat out in these Minimax karts. These drivers 11, 12, sometimes 13 years old. Some of the younger drivers just 10, so 10, 11 and 12 years old generally down the hill, and you can see the drivers moving around. That very distinctive driving style was Sebastian Minch. You can see with the bright orange crash helmet. Now that distinctive driving style that Sebastian has got will help in these conditions, as the drivers have to try and move around the kart just to help with a little bit of weight distribution. This is the first flying lap for all drivers. See there through turns 8 and 9, understeering through that double apex left-hander. That Mojo barrier you can see on the outside of the corner, that will collect many a go-kart before this event is over. Down the hill to the very, very bottom part of the circuit at turn number 11. Now the climb up through 12 and 13. We're still climbing, still climbing. Turn 14. Now one more corner, you're flat out from this point on. This last corner is flat out. Nice wide runoff area down across the main straight, and it is Luca Scales from France in kart number 135 who goes fastest of all, 1 minute 19.154. Sebastian Mins from Team UK goes second fastest at 1 minute 19.199. Now of course there is only half the runners, so it's not going to be the definitive pole sitter will be decided in this particular session, but all the drivers in session 2 will know what time they have to beat. If track conditions change, as we look at a problem there for a driver, centre screen, just getting the back end out, 1 or 2 drivers running very wide, up over the curb. That was Sebastian Mins, and he just holds onto it in kart number 167, using the curbs to help turn the karts. Rasmus Koskinen, purple first sector for the Finnish driver in kart 107. Koskinen at the moment is 4th. Kasper Nilsson from Denmark puts in a purple middle sector. 3rd fastest overall at the moment. It's Scales, Mins, Nissen, Koskinen, Saranki from Finland, then Jack McLaughlin from Ireland. Christopher El Fagali from Lebanon is 7th fastest. I'm looking down to see where the drivers, well, we saw Boaz Maximov on slick tyres, and Boaz's best time is a 1 minute 26.0. that compares to a 1 minute 18.6. so wet tyres are the way to go. Although I'm looking at the puddle outside the commentary box window, and of course it has just about stopped raining. 3.5 minutes to go. I think there was only about 3 or 4 drivers that went out on wets, on slicks rather. Maximov, Bogdanic, Kobakidze, that's Mate Kobakidze from Georgia, and Adam Anderson from Denmark. Those drivers understandably right at the bottom of the timing screens at the moment, but will that change as track conditions change? And track conditions have been changing minute by minute for the last 2.5 days. Koskinen fastest, Scales second, then Mins, Nissen, El Fagali, McLaughlin, Strella, Soranki, Bazire. Is Louis Bazire from France, then Jakob Assam in kart number 143 from Austria. And El Fagali goes fastest in kart number 137. Lebanon's Christopher El Fagali, and oh, you can see 3 wide action there going into turn number 2. That's not going to help any of those drivers. Will they get themselves sorted out by the braking zone at turn number 3? Just about, although none of those 3 drivers are going to set a good lap time. You can see struggling to stay within track limits here in the wet weather. Sebastian Minz goes fastest of all, 1 minute 18.222. Looking down, Boaz Maximov, Uros Bogdanic, their times are improving. It's now just 4 seconds between slicks and wets. We've got 2 minutes to go. Bogdanic and Maximov all going quicker, so slick tyres, now they've got them up to speed. The rain has all but stopped. I don't think it's going to dry out enough to make an impact in the next 1 minute 30 seconds, however. Minz on another quick lap, so is Christopher El Fagali. They head up the hill. There is Sebastian Minz, that lean that he has. That will help with weight distribution, especially in the rain. We're looking at 167, Sebastian Minz. Coming out of the final corner, you can see the driver in front head down. Oh, yellow flag waving at Marshall post 10. That'll be at the bottom of the hill. Down the main straight, Minz doesn't improve his best time. Rasmus Koskinen goes second quickest, 1 minute 18.30, just 800ths slower than provisional poleman Sebastian Minz. A bit of jostling going on into turn number 3 there, and you can see that's Team Poland getting a good run at the inside. It's Minz, Koskinen, Skeles, El Fagali, Nissan, Vanegas Pinzon, Juan Sebastian Vanegas Pinzon from Colombia is 6th, then Tom Strella from Latvia, Jack McLaughlin is 8th, Louis Basseret is 9th, and João Pereira from Portugal rounding out the top 10. You would expect the Portuguese contingent to know the track conditions very well indeed, and that is coming to fruition as Pereira puts his cart into the top 10. The drivers on slick tyres are improving, but they're still 3 seconds a lap slower than the drivers on wets. Cross the line. That goes Adam Anderson. He's 35th in kart number 115, 1 minute 22.649. We have 0.6 of a second separating the top 8. The top 8 at the moment. Lebanon, Christopher El Fagali, just crossing your screens there. He goes to the top of the charts, and he takes the... No, he doesn't take the checkered flag. So Fagali will get another lap in. He's going to need that lap because Lucas Skeles from France in kart 135 pips his time, 1 minute 17.619 seconds. It's Skeles, El Fagali, Koskinen, Minz, Nissan, Garcia, Estrella, and Vanegas Pinzon, the top 8. McLaughlin is 9th. Fionn Shi from Team USA pops up into the top 10. But Christopher El Fagali is the only driver yet to take the checkered flag. He hasn't got anyone to help, but can he wrestle provisional pole position back from France's Lucas Skeles? Judging by his first sector time, I don't think he can. But he's going to try. Oh, he puts in a purple middle sector. El Fagali in kart number 137. He completed his last lap just before the checkered flag came out. He's going to be the only kart coming out of this top turn now. Here he comes. Can El Fagali go back to top spot? Yes, he can. 1 minute 17.497. He timed that absolutely perfectly. He started his last lap 2 seconds before the checkered flag came out. Everybody else had to come in, but Christopher El Fagali, Lebanon's Christopher El Fagali, is your session 1 leader, 1 minute 17.497. Now that might not be good enough for overall pole position. It very much depends on what the weather does for session number 2, but your first group in Minimax, led by Lebanon's Christopher El Fagali with the track to himself. Then it's Lucas Skeles for France, Rasmus Koskinen for Finland, Sebastian Minz for the United Kingdom, Kasper Nissen from Denmark, Vincenzi Garcia from Chile, Tom Strella from Latvia, Juan Sebastian Vanegas Pinzon for Colombia, Jack McLaughlin for Ireland, Fionn Shi from Team USA. there is a look at the drivers, and there's a happy number 111. That's a happy Danish driver, Kasper Nissen, who's just realised he's put his car P5. There we go, that's what we want to see. Thumbs up. That tells me that during practice, Kasper has not been a regular top 5 runner, but he is in time qualifying. And that means that even if the second group go a lot faster, the chances are we'll use the 101% rule, and the drivers from this session will wind up overall in the combined order, 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, etc., or 2nd, 4th, 6th, 8th, 10th. So Kasper Nissen almost guaranteed a top 10 effort in qualifying, as there is a look at some of the Mojo branding that surrounds this fantastic 1600 metre circuit. The drivers absolutely love this track. Christopher El Fagali, 1 minute 17.479 by just over a tenth of a second from Francis Lucas Scales. Koskinen, Mins, Nissen, Garcia, Strella, Vanigas, Pinson, McLaughlin. Well, look at the Irish. Came home to roost in that one, because McLaughlin puts it in a top 10. Fionn Shi from the United States, Gustav Bonk from Brazil, and what a surprise. Well, Nikhilesh Raju from India. We saw Nikhilesh having a spin on the opening lap of qualifying. Well, he comes back and puts the number 155 card in 12th position. Luis Alejandro Umana Sanchez from Colombia is 13th. Louis Bassire from France is 14th. Joao Pereira from Portugal 15th. Minchai Lee from South Korea is 16th. And from Kyrgyzstan, Dmitry Matrenin 17th. The top 18 rounded out by Finland's Juuso Soranki. Now we look back to 19th position. That is Austria's Jacob Assam, Aleksander Rogowski from Poland, and his countryman Franciszek Paluziak. Then it's Jakub Gasparovich, Gabriel Vega-Neda, Khaled Najjar from Bahrain, Alexander Van Meeuwen from Belgium, Jago Klempen from Peru, then Chen Kang-tseng from Chinese Taipei in the island of Taiwan, the only driver from Georgia